City of Greater Geelong, Geelong District.
Certainly, Ace, as we see the ball just being pushed there by Corbett for Northcote. Hit it straight to mid-on and no score. Peter Smith with a very straight approach to the wicket.
Peter's got a nice easy style, a nice easy action. Peter can bowl a lot of overs, and I'd expect that they'd be looking to get a lot of overs from Peter today. He just nags away at you, Peter. He doesn't overpitch you a real lot, and he'll make 'em earn every run today, no doubt about that.
Yeah, nice shot there by Corbett off the back foot. The ball just rising a little off a very slow and lethargic pitch here this morning, but succeeding a run just through, what would you call that, long off.
Well, it was only a gentle push straight down the track. Ron beat the bowler, and Peter would be pretty disappointed at that. You never concede a run off your own bowling, and a little bit more effort there, he might have been able to get out and pick that one up and prevent the single. But maybe he thought that mid-off might have come across and covered it, but as it turned out, they picked up an easy single.
At the end of the second over here at Kardinia Park in the very historic day for the Geelong Cricket Club, playing Northcote in their first home game. None for 10, Northcote off 2 overs.
Barrett gives the impression with his style that he could come off the wicket a bit quicker than what the batsman sort of would expect, but at this time of the year, you can't expect the wickets to be real fast.
Certainly, it's a very shoulder whippy type action, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It gives the impression to me that when the wickets get a little bit harder around about Christmas time, that he might be a difficult lad to play, because he certainly, with his action, he might slide onto you pretty quickly. The wicketkeeper took that one down around his ankles, Ron, so that's just an indication of the life and bounce that's in this track. It's a pretty dead track.
Yes, certainly, Ace, and well, his line of length is quite rewarding at the present time. That didn't miss off stump by a great margin, and the ball did come back in off the track.
Yes, you might see that he's using the crease too, the lad. He's using the crease. He bowled that one a little bit wider on the return crease. So he is a thinking bowler, and that's what you've got to do when you're a bowler. You've got to be thinking all the time, because the batsman's thinking, the bowler's got to think how he's going to get the batsman out.
Exactly, Ace. Prior to that previous delivery, the one prior to that was wide, angled. That particular one that beat the bat was a straight delivery and beat the batsman.
That was a wretched shot. That ball was short and it was outside the off stump, and that lad tried to pull that through mid-wicket then. That was an awful shot. But in one-day cricket, runs are the name of the game, and you can't miss the opportunity to hit the loose balls, and that was a better delivery.
Yes, very defensive forward prod there too from Saker from Northcote, and he's moved on to 5 runs. Corbett on 7 at the end of the 4th over. We see the score. Peter Smith with a very straight approach to the wicket.
Peter's got a nice easy style, a nice easy action. Peter can bowl a lot of overs, and I'd expect that they'd be looking to get a lot of overs from Peter today. He just nags away at you, Peter. He doesn't overpitch you a real lot, and and he'll make 'em earn every run today. No doubt about that.
Yeah, nice shot there by Corbett off the back foot. The ball just rising a little off a very slow and lethargic pitch here this morning, but succeeding a run just through what would you call that, long off.
Well, it was only a gentle push straight down the track. Ron beat the bowler, and Peter would be pretty disappointed at that. You never concede a run off your own bowling, and a little bit more effort there, he might have been able to get down and pick that one up and prevent the single. But maybe he thought that mid-off might have come across and covered it, but as it turned out, they picked up an easy single.
At the end of the second over here at Kardinia Park in the very historic day for the Geelong Cricket Club, playing Northcote in their first home game. None for 10, Northcote off 2 overs.
Barrett gives the impression with his style that he could come off the wicket a bit quicker than what the batsman sort of would expect, but at this time of the year, you can't expect the wickets to be real fast.
Certainly, it's a very shoulder whippy type action, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. It gives the impression to me that when the wickets get a little bit harder around about Christmas time, that he might be a difficult lad to play, because he certainly, with his action, he might slide onto you pretty quickly. The wicketkeeper took that one down around his ankles, Ron, so that's just an indication of the life and bounce that's in this track. It's a pretty dead track.
Yeah, certainly, Ace, and well, his line of length is quite rewarding at the present time. That didn't miss off stump by a great margin, and the ball did come back in off the track.
Yes, you might see that he's using the crease too, the lad. He's using the crease. He bowled that one a little bit wider on the return crease. So he is a thinking bowler, and that's what you've got to do when you're a bowler. You've got to be thinking all the time, because the batsman's thinking, the bowler's got to think how he's going to get the batsman out.
Exactly, Ace. Prior to that previous delivery, the one prior to that was wide, angled. That particular one that beat the bat was a straight delivery and beat the batsman.
That was a wretched shot. That ball was short and it was outside the off stump, and that lad tried to pull that through mid-wicket then. That was an awful shot. But in one-day cricket, runs are the name of the game, and you can't miss the opportunity to hit the loose balls, and that was a better delivery.
Yes, very defensive forward prod there too from Saker from Northcote, and he's moved on to 5 runs. Corbett on 7 at the end of the 4th over. We see the scoreboard at none for 12. With one-day cricket, Ace, bowlers allowing 10 overs each?
I'm not certain of the conditions in these types of games, Ron. Of course, Melbourne District Cricket, the rules differ from local cricket, and I'm just not absolutely certain what the rules are as far as overs are concerned. I don't think that really applies in this cricket. I think that applies more to these other fixtures that are played, and not the home and away games.
Certainly, and Peter Smith bang on target in the commencement of his 3rd over.
Yeah, that's the forte of Peter's bowling, of course, that Peter bowls very accurately, and he makes the batsman earn every run. Of course, that's what you've got to do in one-day cricket, because in any cricket, Ron, a run saved is as good as a run made.
Certainly, and Peter Smith again finding an edge from a sort of a backward drive attempt, and unfortunately didn't go to hand.
Yeah, just went onto the back foot. That ball was a little short, and just caught the outside edge and rolled away through the gully for an easy single down to third man. Probably would have thought that there may have been more spectators here, but of course cricket hasn't got the following of football. We all know that, but this is really historic.
Yeah, certainly a little bit disappointed myself here this morning. I see.
Yeah, but as the day goes on, Ron, and after lunch, and people work on Saturdays, and they've got other things to do, that I'd imagine that the people would get down to the ground this afternoon. Hopefully the conditions stay fine, and well, the weather forecast at the moment indicates that it will be a fine day and remain fine throughout.
Ball was well struck, but again, Peter Smith bang on target.
Well, hit that right in the middle of the bat. A very, very nice shot. Just clipped it, pitched about middle and leg, and he hit it right in the middle of the bat, and it really raced away to mid-wicket. Peter's just got an easy style. He's got an easy run up, and well, he let that one go a little bit. But he's a great bowler, Peter.
Certainly ace, and at the end of Peter Smith's third over, he's conceded 9 runs. The scoreboard none for 14 Northcote. And there's been a correction to the names on the scoreboard. It's Johnny Beaumont.
Yes, Ron, I concur. The organisers of this cricket club have got to be commended, because this is something that's been muted for some time, and there's been a lot of hard work. We had the ill-fated North Melbourne Geelong experiment, and the persons at the helm, they persevered, and eventually we got there. And you know, it's fantastic, really, to think that the people of Geelong can come down and watch the top cricket in the state.
Yeah, certainly it's a very commendable effort, and I'm sure that as the season progresses, that the popularity will grow as the sides string a couple of wins together.
Yeah, you know, success means everything, and success breeds success everywhere you go. You know, everyone loves a winner. I only hope that the people of Geelong get behind the membership, and there is a membership drive on at the moment. People like Philip Marshall, you know, working very, very hard. Philip's been a great cricketer for this Geelong club over the years, and it's great to see Philip in the administration role as secretary of this fine club.
Certainly, Ace, and being a foundation member for $100, you get a very nice key ring with the Geelong Cricket Club on it. And I am a financial member myself, and quite proud to say so. Ace, have you paid yours as yet?
I have, Ron. I am a financial member of the club, and I've also paid my $100 to be a financial member, and very proud to do so.
Yeah, likewise, Ace.
This lad's bowling, this lad Barrett's bowling very accurate. The scoreboard, they haven't woken up who the bowler is at the moment, but it is Barrett, and he's bowling from the city end.
Well, at the conclusion of Barrett's third over, he's conceded 6 runs and quite economical performance to date.
Yeah, Geelong are doing pretty well at the moment, Ronnie. They're bowling pretty steady and pretty accurate.
Well, this is the 7th over of the Northcote innings. They're none for 15. Peter Smith coming in to bowl his 4th over.
You can see, Ron, that there's not a real lot in this track at all, and I'm sure that Peter's not going to bust his boiler to try to extract anything out of this pitch because there's not a real lot in it. And Peter will just be content to rely on length and direction and keep the runs down to a premium.
Yes, and doing that quite well too.
Well, they are at the moment. Later on in the day, we'll see the introduction of the spinners. In fact, I'm sure that the skipper, Peter Cox, who's had a wealth of experience in district cricket, he's played Shield cricket for Victoria, and he'll introduce himself into the attack. He knows all about this district cricket in Melbourne. It's a pretty fierce competition. It's pretty hard, and well, some of the Geelong lads, it'll take might take half a season to acclimatise themselves with the conditions.
That's gone.
It's a pretty confident appeal for a court behind.
The ball just zipping back a little off the track there with Peter Smith, and he's just been really hammering that middle and off stump, and he nearly forced the error on the batsman.
Yeah, Peter's got the ability to fizz one through now and again. He's a very heady bowler, Peter, and I believe on that occasion that he really let that one go. Now there's the skippers decide to put a silly mid off in, which is a good ploy. Put a bit of pressure onto the batsman.
And forced to let that one go. Peter Smith right on the spot there with that move of Peter Cox, bringing that player into silly mid off, and well, just making the batsman think a little bit more about his cricket.
Geelong have been very fortunate this year to pick up players such as Kevin Neville, who's an experienced opening batsman. He played with the Prahran District Club. In fact, Kevin compiled last season somewhere around about 650 runs, Ron. At that level of cricket and opening the batting, and I've had the pleasure of watching Kevin bat, and Kevin's a very fine talent.
You think himself very unlucky not being in the state squad.
Oh, he's got to be very unlucky. I see that, I read in the press today where his co-opening partner up there, a chap called Kyle Mulligan, is in the state squad, who also scored somewhere around about 648 runs last season, which is quite unique really to have two opening batsmen in the one club to score so many runs. Kevin is a fine opening batsman, and a lot of opening batsmen don't get the opportunity to play to the slow bowling a real lot because a lot of them are out before the slows get on. But Kevin can really play the spinners also.
The keeper for Geelong Cricket Club today, been able to pick him up. Kevin Neville's pretty talented. It appears it could be him.
No, Ron, in fact, it's you really should know who it is. It's the legendary Billy Goggins' son.
Of course. Apologies to Brett.
Yes, Brett Goggin. Constable Brett Goggin. He played district cricket with Newtown in Geelong, and of course we know what a club Newtown are. They've bred some fine cricketers over the years. They're a very well administered club locally. Fellas like Don Royce down there, and Um, they've been a fantastic club over a lot of years. Greg Wells, Stephen Wells, name a couple of fellows that come from there, and back in the years their father was a good cricketer. Jack Mulruan. A lot of fine cricketers come from Newtown. And something that you probably don't know, Ron, and a little bit of trivia is that Brian Brushfield, the 95.5 Locket on the Rock, Brian Brushfield, played one game with Newtown Firsts.
I didn't know that, and well, I'm sure that Brushy, well, being the all-round sportsman he is, and tantalises the eardrums of all Geelong supporters throughout the season of football. Yeah, quite a distinguished career at that level.
Well, he only played one game, and it was a little bit warm for him on that occasion, and I think he said, "That's all, folks, no more." He was a lad that went to the college, and of course Ian Redpath and Lindsay Hassett. They had some great cricketers down that into the woods. Little fellow down there called Joey Falconer, who played football with Geelong, was a good player too for Newtown. David Flakeshaw, you can go on and on down there.
Yes, certainly, and we've got a couple of stalwarts from the Geelong Cricket Club, and very big wealth of experience. Would you like to introduce them to us, Az?
Well, if we can get Michael King up here, the president, we might be able to ask Michael a couple of words.
And the gentleman with him has just played a little bit of cricket. Could be that Ian Redpath.
Oh, just a cricketer, Redders.
Well, we're approaching the 10th over, midway through the 9th of Peter Smith bowling his 5th over, and beating the bat again on the off stump. And it's with pleasure that we introduce the president of the Geelong Cricket Club to guest video production here this morning for the very historic day for the Geelong Cricket Club, their first home game at Kardinia Park. Good morning, Mike.
Well, Peter, how are you?
Okay. Good start for the boys.
It is. They've pegged them back a bit. They got away to a good start, Northcote, in the first couple of overs, but Smithy's bowling good line and length, and we'll just see what happens from here.
Yes, as Ace have discussed earlier in our broadcast here this morning, that the track a little green, a little lifeless, but I think the secret is what Peter Smith is doing, and that's bowling very good line and length.
Yeah, well, Peter's had an excellent record in his 3 years at South Melbourne, and he really is a linchpin of the team for us. So it's he just, with the experience that he's got, he just knows what he has to do. Got a very good start last week against Richmond with a 3 for 22 off 10, and as I said, he's a very experienced player and knows what he has to do, and just got to bowl that line and length and keep it off this bloke's pads, which he's doing. Bit surprised, as you said, it's a bit green but lifeless. It's just really the ball's sliding on a bit at the moment. I thought it might have had a bit more life early, but there you go.
Mike, your passion for the game, it's quite a unique one, and how long have you been involved in local cricket?
Oh, local cricket now, probably played local cricket at different grades probably for about 25-30 years, and involved in more in an administrative area, which I guess is probably more my flair than my playing ability, probably for about 10 years now, Ron. Yeah.
Well, it's a credit to you, and we've congratulated the groundkeeper here this morning for the preparation of the facility here this morning. It will be a showcase of Melbourne and District Cricket, and we congratulate you.
I think there's probably a lot. I think the VCA clubs will learn from Geelong by the end of the year, and certainly our facilities will be one. We've got an excellent relationship here, not only with the football club, but certainly with the council of the greater city of Geelong, and they've put an enormous amount of work in, not only here at Kardinia Park, but to our practice facilities at West Kardinia. and I'd say that we'd have probably some of the best facilities already, even in our first year of VCA, and we certainly aim to even improve on the excellent facilities we have.
Youngster coming in from the city end, Ian Barrett, got a quite deceptive action, hasn't he?
He has indeed. He's had a couple of good years now within the GCA, and what it really does is our entry now is give these blokes the opportunity to play at that higher level, and he's acquitted himself very well in his 5 overs today.
He certainly has, and this is the 10th over, and the scoreboard, Northcote none for 21. So Geelong not conceding too many runs at the early stages.
No, it's very encouraging, as I said before, just to keep the runs down, and particularly early on. And at this grade of cricket, you might well think that you've done well, but they can get away in the last 10 overs. So it's very important that if they do get away, that it's from a low base and not from a higher base.
Yeah, certainly, Mike, and I'm sure that with the direction of Peter Cox, who's, well, a guru really in cricket terms, a lot of experience, wealth of experience, will guide the boys to a victory here today.
Well, I don't think we really could have asked for perhaps a better start in terms of playing personnel than what we've gotten with Peter leading the first. He's certainly in his latter years as a player, but his leadership qualities really do stand out. And in the 5 months that we've had all the boys together, it's really come to a fore. And he's played some 260 district games, played 10 or 12 first-class games for Victoria, and he really does know what it's all about. And we couldn't have really asked for a better leader in our first year than Peter. And likewise through our second, third and fourth with Bruce Nunn and Ken Davis and Peter McGoom, they're all our captains have been captain coaches of the local GTA teams, and to have somebody with Peter's wealth of experience in the VCA to lead us in our first year, we couldn't have asked more.
Certainly. Ian Barrett coming in again. Well, outside off stump, let through to keeper Brett Goggin, and on the completion of the 10th over, the scoreboard, none for 21, and I think young Barrett, his second maiden over.
Yes, he really has pegged them back from the start they've got, and it's excellent with still Peter Quick to come on, and Jason Backer, the Jeffries. It really is a very encouraging start.
Certainly. Philip Marshall, an integral cog in the administrative function of the Geelong Cricket Club.
Oh, Philip's done an excellent job. He's playing record speaks for itself with the Geelong sub-district. He made well over 6,000 runs, and it really is great to have a person like Phil actively involved, and he's just done an enormous amount of work behind the scenes, and we're very lucky as a club to have people of the calibre of Phil and the 8 others on the committee just doing the job that they've done. Yeah.
Change of bowler. That man Quick.
Yes, it should be interesting. He bowled very well last week, Peter, and again, it's another opportunity for people like Peter to present themselves at a higher level, and I'm sure they'll acquit themselves well.
It's with pleasure that I bring to the guest video microphone another integral part in the formation of the Geelong Cricket Club. Ian Redpath, good morning.
How are you?
Yeah, very well, Ian, and we're very pleased with a fine start here this morning.
Yes, I've put the brakes on a bit after a fairly brisk start from Northcote, but that's the nature of the one-day game. If you can keep it tight, force them into error.
Certainly, and Peter Quick just commencing his first over has loosened up rather smartly, beating the bat on that occasion with a little bit of a lax back foot cut from the batsman there.
Yeah, so we sometimes have to play shots that aren't quite on in one-day cricket. So they come off, so they can make you look a fool, but really it's a strange game, one-day cricket. If one fella has a good day and comes off with some of those shots, he can beat you. So
You're just reflecting back on your career, and obviously your preference would have been Test cricket.
Oh, I think most cricketers would look at it that way, but yeah, it's a one-day cricket's come into the system, and it's here to stay. There's no doubt about it at the top level, and of course they've got to learn to play it in the junior ranks. So it's there's more and more of it that's being played, and you know, with the circles, etc. So they've got a bit of an advantage, the young guys these days. They play a lot of one-day cricket. We didn't play much one-day cricket. We probably played about, I think it was a Gillette Cup. We might have played 2 games a year, and that was only in about my last sort of 3 or 4 years of cricket. But now they play it all the time, and you know, the top cricketers, of course, they've got to play it because it's a very big part of their living.
Yeah, certainly, and just noticing Peter Quick there beating the outside edge again, and quick signal taken here, and overthrows.
Oh dear. Yes, that was a some bonus runs there that probably shouldn't have happened.
And getting back to that one-day cricket scenario, it puts a lot of pressure on the individuals, especially the opening batsmen, opening bowlers, because of the strike rate that occurs throughout a one-day innings.
Yeah, the chaps that actually the fellas that I think bat in the first 4 have got a huge advantage. They can sort of get set up a little bit, have a bit of a look at the bowling, and then play their shots. Whereas some of the guys that bat low down the order, if they can smash a quick 15, 20, 25, they've had a good day. But and that's why fellas like Dean Jones probably, and Jeff Marsh in the international scene had such good figures, because they could get in early and bat right through the 50 overs.
Certainly, and a nice shot being played off the back foot, just a little bit wide on that occasion. Change of bowler again from the City end, or is it still Ian Barrett? It is Ian. And he's a little wide on that occasion, and allowing Northcote to just move the scoreboard along a little further. 2 runs coming off that, and none for 25, and we're in the 11th over here of the first home game for the Geelong Cricket Club here at Kardinia Park.
He's bowled very well, Ian Barrett.
He's got interesting action, hasn't he? Very whippy,
strong, very
and the ball tends to come onto the batsman a little quicker than he expects, I would suggest.
Yes, he's got a good strong action, and he's a much better bowler out in the middle than he is in the indoors. He obviously gets full benefit from his run up, and he's bowled very well.
The cricket club would be very privileged, I would suggest, to have such a great facility here with the Geelong Football Club facility, and the preparation of West Kardinia, as we've mentioned with Michael King earlier, a great asset for the club.
Yeah, so we're very fortunate to have the facilities, and B, the fellas around the place that want to make the most of the facilities. The administration's fantastic, and they've left no stone unturned to make sure everything's in there that we want. And of course, the footy club have been very cooperative. The ground looks a picture. Will be even better.
Runs starting to come a little more freer now. Batsmen starting to play a few nice shots, but Ian Barrett still lingering away on that very good line and length.
Yeah, well, he's an onside player, Jerry Dowling, and we've got a bowl on his off stump, just outside. And he's a good player, Jerry. He's played interstate cricket with some success. Played a couple of Shield games, I think. And he's been in the squad for some time, so if they can bowl well to a bloke of his calibre, it will give them a lift in confidence.
Certainly, and Kevin Neville, a big asset for the club, making 600 odd runs last season, and Would be very unlucky not to be in the stateside.
Yeah, he'd have to be close to it. He's a classy player, Kevin, and anyone that makes that number of runs in district cricket can play. But he is a very good technician, and they must be looking at him. I would say there are spots there, so hopefully he can make 750 for us this summer.
Yes, and I think